My name's Katie Ayers, and I'm a student at Central Community College in Columbus, Nebraska. I'd like to share some information about the Bee MycHotel Project, a novel approach to bee habitat and health by utilizing fungi as a building material. This project is funded by the Nebraska Academy of Science and Nebraska Environmental Trust Public Information and Education Mini-Grant, as well as funds from Project Growing Pathways to STEM, an NSF-founded program focused on assisting underserved and underrepresented students in the STEM fields. Our main goal of the project is to create bee hotels for mycelium, the main body of a fungus. To the left is a picture of a traditional bee hotel. But before we get too deep into that, we need to learn a little bit more about bees. Social bees are the most well-known of all the bees. Honeybees and bumblebees are prime examples. These colonies, they form colonies, hence the term social, with an overwintering queen building a nest collecting food and laying eggs. Then female workers hatch, feed, and care for the colony until fall when a new queen emerges, mates, and hibernates until the following spring when the cycle begins again. Native bees, on the other hand, are a whole different story. There are over 4,000 species of native bees in the United States. Most of them are gentle, meaning they won't sting you unless you step on them or squish them. All the females form their own separate nests, hence the name solitary. Most of these are cavity dwellers, utilizing naturally occurring holes. They construct brood cells lined up end to end each in a row. Each cell holds one egg which will mature to young adulthood inside of the cell. Here's a couple photos to highlight a major difference between honeybees and solitary bees. This is a pollen sac. Honeybees use these to carry pollen back to their hive. Solitary bees, on the other hand, do more of a belly flop onto the flower when collecting their pollen. The pollen gets all over their bellies, so when they land on the next flower, there's a higher chance of cross-pollination. Solitary bees aren't usually given enough credit when considering the amount of pollination they carry out. Certain crops require a solitary bee for pollination, like alfalfa. So, you might be wondering, why mushrooms? It was actually Paul Stamets who first wrote about seeing bees foraging on mushroom mycelium, drinking exudates, or digestive juices that they excrete. This suggests that they may be getting medicinal or nutritional value from the fungus. The most recognizable part of a fungus is the mushroom, obviously. This top part is the fruiting body or the mushroom. Not all fungi produce mushrooms, but the species we're using does. Inside of the mushroom and concealed underground are what's known as hyphae. These are string-like filaments that comprise the main body of a fungus. Altogether, these hyphae are called mycelium. Mycelium is what our bee hotels are grown from. We grew the mycelium onto wood pieces used from ground pallet wood. So fungi are known to produce a wide array of chemicals with antimicrobial activity, including compounds active against bacteria, other fungi, and even viruses. In field trials, colonies that were fed Ganoderma extract exhibited a 79-fold reduction in deformed wing virus and a 45,000-fold reduction in Lake Sinai virus. Here's a photo of a bee that has deformed wing virus. The virus drastically decreases the longevity of an infected bee and can lead to colony collapse disorder. This virus was first noted in honeybees but has now been found in over 64 species of insects, including solitary bees. So, what do we want to accomplish with this study? First, we need to see if solitary bees will nest in the mycelium bee hotels. Over the summer, we'll observe the bee hotels to see how many holes are being used. After we have these numbers, we will see if the bees have a preference to traditional or fungal bee hotels. Next, at the end of the season, we will collect the pupae to quantify the species and reproductive output of each bee hotel. Then, we'll determine if more exposure to the mycelium exudates improves the health of the bees, using qPCR and DNA analysis to see if there are any signs of the virus. Finally, we'll observe the qualities of the bee hotel. How long will they last? When do they need to be replaced? And how do they overwinter? For this project, we used rudimentary materials to start. We used old boxes as mold and packed the myceliated pallet wood inside and grew them for about 10 days. Here's a short video after the 10 days when I was unboxing one of the bee hotels. After another week growing in a humidity chamber made with plastic sheeting, an inexpensive humidifier, and a plastic shelf, this is what they look like now. I'm in the process of gathering natural materials to create nesting blocks. Some of the items I'll use includes reeds, sticks, and other hollow-stemmed plants. We have a few more things to finish before we can start the experiment, though. The first thing is to finish the nesting blocks, as I've just described. Then we need to determine a schedule for data collection so that we can ensure that our data is reliable. Finally, we need to fine-tune a mounting strategy so that we don't have any bee hotels blow down in a storm or any other unforeseen circumstances. After we complete these last three things, we will be placing the bee hotels approximately 300 feet apart surrounding our campus pollinator garden and begin data collection. By learning to utilize natural materials to reimagine our world, we can make a huge difference in the impact we as humans have on our planet. Fungi are the primary recycler of the planet and the original chemists of nature. They can break down harmful pollutants in air, water, and soil. They can be grown into useful products like bee hotels. They can be ingested for health benefits in humans and other animals, not to mention their deep interconnection with plants. Without fungi, the fertile soils of our prairie would not exist. Hopefully, this has inspired you to look at mushrooms in a different light and maybe even start growing your own items. Thank you for your time.